Hello again, everyone. This is Zombie Kids Rule, and I'm back with another video tutorial. Today, this is about a selectable treasure chest, and I'm kind of excited about this one. I built this a number of months ago when I first was starting out, and I was trying to do a lot of things I probably shouldn't have just starting out because I was curious. One of the things I wanted to do was with treasure chests. I wanted to do lock picking and identifying traps and opening with magic and all these other things. And part of that was also about being able to select treasure. So the default treasure chest is really about you open it, there's an animation, there's treasure involved, you take it, and then the chest stays open, and then you basically can't interact with it again. That's kind of the default that's built standard as like a quick treasure chest. And I wanted to be able to select what you took. So if there's multiple items in that chest, I wanted to be able to take just one, or I wanted to, take everything, or I wanted to leave it alone and come back and have those items still be there. So I was exploring around and trying a bunch of different things, and the end result is this selectable treasure chest. This is just one way to do it. I've said this in my previous videos and tutorials. There may be a better way, there may be a more efficient way, there may be a plugin that does this and it does it really easy for you. I don't know. I'm not exploring plugins right now. I'm trying to build things on my own. And I'm also excited because I just recently picked up a book called JavaScript for Kids, and JavaScript for Kids, and I just happened to see it in the bookstore. I bought it. It's written for, I think, ages 10 and up. So it's for kids and their parents. And actually, it's really cool. It's good. I've learned a ton of stuff from it already. I've only been reading it one day. And I can already see where some of the stuff that I did in previous tutorials that I could improve upon it using this knowledge of JavaScript. So I'm definitely going to go back and update some things. And I'll, be experimenting with this and then applying it in future videos. So anyway, I just wanted to, kind of give that precursor out there. And if you are interested in learning JavaScript, search for that book, JavaScript for Kids. It's actually pretty good. So let me show you what this is doing in the game. And essentially, what it's there's a lot going on in this. There's a lot going on in this map. I was testing a whole bunch of stuff, different things. You can see the little kid jumping around, and there's a lot of things happening here. But this is the selectable treasure chest event number 7. So when I first click on it, it's going to basically say you see a few common things. You see a few common looking things in the chest, and then it gives me my choices. Take gold, take potion, take short sword, take everything, or just close the chest. And I've tested all these; they all work. And this is again a sample of how to do this when you have static items. So you're not doing random treasure generation right now. I purposely placed gold, a potion, a short sword in this chest so I could just test the game mechanics. So first, I'm going to go down here and say, nope, close the chest. Let's just leave this here and come back for it later. And you notice that the chest is going to close. So normally that chest closing animation isn't part of the default, just make a treasure chest really quickly. So you can easily add that back in. So now it shows me, I can open it again. So now I'm just going to take, first I'll just take the gold. So the party takes 25 gold, chest closes again because there's still contents. Now, when I go back in, it says you see a few common looking things, but now there's no option to take the gold. It's take potion, take short sword, take everything, or close the chest. Again, I can close the chest, and I can come back, and it's going to be my options that are left. So if I take the potion, it's going to say the party takes the potion, chest is going to close, so I can go back to it, and now it says the short sword is still in the chest. So instead of saying a few common items, it's now changed. The short sword is still in the chest. I can take it or I can close it. I'll go ahead and take it. The party took the short sword, and now the chest is open, and it doesn't look like there's anything left in it. So when I click on it again, I get a message that the chest is empty, and I can't do anything else with it. All right, so that's the first part. Now I'm going to stop the playtest there, and I'm going to go in and do it again because I just want to show the different features that you can. It's pretty much the same thing, but for instance, what happens if I take everything? The party takes 25 gold, a potion, and a short sword, and the chest stays open. And when I select it, the chest is empty. So now it's gone. And if I stop the playtest and I start it again, I can do it in a different order. So I'll go over here, and this time I'm going to take the short sword first. The party takes the short sword, and when I go back to it, it's going to say you still see a few common things in the chest. Take gold or take potion, and let's say I take the gold this time. Party takes 25 gold, and now when I click on it again, it's going to actually tell me there's a potion left. The potion is still in the chest, so I'll take the potion, and now the chest is empty. And one more time, just because to show that everything works in and out of different orders. When I go over here, we've already tested the take nothing. We've already tested the take everything. So now we'll take the potion first, and then when we come back, I'm going to take the short sword. And then when we come back, it says the gold is still in the chest. So now I'm going to take the gold, and when I come back, the chest is empty and I can't do anything with it anymore. Every time I click on it, it will say the chest is empty. So that's how the chest works. It's not fancy. There's a lot more that you can do with it. There's a lot more that I could probably do with it, and I will experiment later on. But I just wanted to test the game mechanics and the functionality of how do you allow a player to take just some, take one thing at a time, or take everything, or take nothing, leave it there. And so this event has 8 pages to it. And again, you could go more. It would require you to do a little bit. I'd have to approach this a little differently if I had more items in the chest, because as you'll see, the pages are tracked with different conditions. I'm using multiple switches on a few pages, and if we wanted to have more items, then we might have to go into using self switches or variables or something to figure out a different way to track this. But the way I did it here was just with 3 things that you can take, or the option to take everything or to take nothing. So on page 1, when the events first loads, right, when the map first loads and we first engage with this event, page 1 is the highest page where the conditions are met, and the chest is just a standard image. It's direction fixed. It's there's no autonomous movement. It's same as character, and it's an action button. Now, when we action button, when we select the chest, it's going to play the sound effect. And I will caution you, when I first started building these, I left it at like 90%, and that gets really loud. And it's a pain in the butt to go back and lower them all manually. So anyway, just as a thought, set what you want for your sound effects early on. Then this movement route is the animation of the chest opening. So when you go to make a chest, if I just go over here and quick event creation, and I do treasure, here's my chest. I can set it for 1 gold, and then when I click on this, this is already done for me. It plays the animation. You see it's set on 90, which is really loud. It has the set movement, which is this event. It's going to wait. Direction fixes off, so we're going to allow the chest to move. We have it turn left, wait 3 frames, turn right, wait 3 frames, and essentially we don't have to worry about we'll see what page 2 does, because the event stays open. And then it turns the self switch A on. It gives you the gold automatically, right? It's programmed to do that, and then it tells you what it did with the text. And then of course, once you use this as your base, you can then add anything you want to it, right? You can just double click, and you can change items, change weapons, change armor. You can change the text of what you found. You can do anything you want of that. And then of course page 2, where the self switch A is triggered, it's just basically leaving the animation, or I should say the sprite image of the chest that's open. So that's you can start with the default chest, or if you build a chest that you really like, then you could use that as your default, and you could copy and paste and then just change what you want. So it plays the animation, and then it sets the movement route. so that it has the animation of the chest opening. Then there's the text that we saw. You see a few common looking things in the chest. You could do anything you want there. You could describe it any way you want. Then it shows your choices. So when you're working with this, you have 6 default choices. I think I've mentioned this in the past. There is a plugin that you can have more choices. You can actually do there's a method that you can do where you can have more choices. I'm not going to show that. I have done it before, but I'm still playing around with it. And then you can do nested choices too, meaning that if you have more choices than you have more choices that you want than you have slots for, you could do nested choices where option one is maybe if like in a treasure chest, maybe you have weapons, you have armor, you have potions, and you have something else, and maybe your first choice would be take weapons, take armor would be 2, take potions would be 3, take everything, close the chest. And if you select take potions, for instance, it opens up a new show choices, and it says, there's 4 potions that you can choose from now. You can take them all, or you don't have to take any, or whatever. So you could do nested choices through this option. But anyway, so what I did was take gold, take potion, take short sword, take everything, close the chest, and then the cancel, if someone uses escape to cancel, it defaults to choice 5, which is close the chest. And if they're just clicking through, choice 1 is take gold, right? And then of course you can change the background, you can change where the choices appear, if you want to move them around, okay? So once you plug in your choices that you want, the event will automatically put the choices in when option. So when take gold, when take potion, when take short sword, and then when take everything, and when close the chest. So it automatically does that for you. It plugs that in, and then you just have to insert what you want it to do under each choice. So when take gold, it's we're changing the gold by the amount that I had set. We're showing a text to tell the player what happened. The party takes 25 gold. I'm setting a control switch, and so one of the switches I created was took gold, and we're turning that on because we need to tell the event. Basically, we need to move to a page where the gold is taken, so it's no longer a choice. It's no longer an option. Then there's a sound effect again because this is closing the chest, right? Because I want the chest to close to show the player that there's content in it still, and they can go and engage with it again. So this is doing the opposite of what it did before. Okay, so it is going to close the chest so that it appears like it's like it was when we first clicked on it. And then each one of the other choices is very similar. If you do take potion, we change the potion, and then we do the text to show them what we did. There's another switch that is took potion. We turn that on. Sound effect, the animation to close the chest. If it's take short sword, we change the short sword. We do the text to show what we did. We turn on a control switch for took short sword. Then we play the animation, or we play the sound effect, and then we play the animation. If it's take everything, well, then we're going to give them all of it. We're going to add the gold, add the potion, add the short sword. We have the text that shows them that they took everything. And then if they take everything, we're going to turn control switch A on. Because control switch A is going to be the one that is basically the chest is empty now. There's nothing left. Okay? And then when close the chest is the option, then the actor Reed here is saying, let's just leave this here and come back for it later, and then it plays the animation, plays the sound effect, and then it plays the chest closing animation. So that's the first page. And as you can see, you can only choose one item at a time, or take everything, or take nothing. And it's broken out that way. Now, the first thing we did was we said, well, we take the gold. So page 2, just for ease of keeping this in my mind, I did it where page 2 is we took the gold, page 3 is where we took the potion, Page 4 is where we took the short sword. Then page 5 is where we took two of the items. So I did take gold and then we took the potion. Page 6 is we took the gold and we took the short sword. Page 7 is where we ignored the gold, we took the potion and the short sword. And then page 8 is the chest is now empty. So I just built it that way for logic purposes to help me, make sure that I was doing it in a way and I didn't make any mistakes. So we pretend we take the gold first, in which we turn on the switch took gold, which is the condition for page 2. So when that switch is on, and that's the only switch that's on, it moves to this page, and all of this is the same down here. And essentially, the majority of the contents of this page are the same. There's the animation, there's the opening of the chest. You see a few common, looking things, and then now our choices are one less, right? We already took the gold, so that's not a choice anymore. It's potion, short sword, everything, or nothing. And now if they escape, cancel, it's the close the chest, option 4. If they click through, choice 1 is the default, they take the potion. And then it operates very similar to the first page. When take potion, we're going to add the potion. We're going to tell them what we did. We're going to turn that switch on, took potion on, play the sound effects, and then animate the chest to close. When it's take short sword, it's going to be exactly the way it was on the previous page. And when it's take everything, it's not exactly the same as the previous page because now we already took the gold. So now it's just going to be add a potion and add a short sword. And then the text is different, right? Because we didn't take everything. Now we just took a potion and a short sword. And then it turns on that self switch A, which moves it to the very last page. And then when closed chest, it's going to do what it did before. Let's just leave this here. But it stays on this page, right? Because if that's the choice, nothing else, no other switches are being turned on, so it's going to stay on page 2 for when we come back. And so now I said, okay, well let's I wanted and now page 3 is we skip the gold and instead we took the potion. So the took potion switch is turned on, and that's the only one because that's the first item we took. And it's almost exactly the same as the took gold one, except now we have an option to take the gold and we don't have an option to take the potion because we already did it. So it's sound effect, animation, text to say there's stuff in there. Then there's your choices, which are now there's no potion. It's just take gold, take short sword, take everything, close the chest. And then as you go through, if you take gold, this is essentially the same as on the first page when we took the gold. It's essentially the same. And it turns on the took gold switch. If we take the short sword, it's essentially the same as the previous pages when you take the short sword. It adds it and it tells you what it did, and then it turns on the self switch and it does the sound effect and the animation. And then to take everything, it's similar, right? But you have to keep track and make sure and says, well, look, we already took a potion before, so if we're taking everything this time, all they're getting is gold and a short sword. And then it's turning on self switch A to move it to the very last page. Or again, the closed chest is pretty much the same on each page. I'm just going to say, hey, we're going to leave this and we're going to play the sound effect and the animation, and it leaves it on the page it's currently on. And then page 4 is if we took the short sword first. And you can see where this is going, folks. It's the exact same thing, only now we don't have a short sword option. And instead we just have the gold and the potion option. And so the choices were changed accordingly. And then we have the take gold, which is exactly the same as it is on another page. We have the take potion, which is exactly the same as it is on a previous page. We're just remembering to add the right item and we're turning on the correct switch. And then the take everything is, again, we're only going to give them gold and potion this time because they previously took the short sword, and turn the self switch A on to get it to the last page. And then the closed chest is we're not really doing, it's the same as it was before. You can copy and paste these and it leaves it on this page. And when I built this, that's exactly what I did. I started on this page, and then when I wanted to go to page 2, I just copied the page and pasted it. And then I edited. I changed what I needed. And then I copied and pasted, and then I edited, and copied and pasted, and I edited. Now, page 5 is when we said, okay, we took the gold one time, and now we took the potion one time. So what's left? Just the short sword. So two switches are on for this page to be activated. We took the gold one time, we took the potion another time. So we have the initial beginning is the same. Then we have the text now where I changed the text to be more specific. There's only one item left, so it's the short sword is still in the chest. Then we have only two choices now: take the short sword or close the chest, right? There's no take everything because there's only one item left. And then you'll notice that each time I made sure to change the cancel and the default. Okay. And then this, if we take the short sword, it's essentially the same as we had done in the past, but now we're going to turn on self switch A because there's nothing left. If they take the short sword, that was the last item, so we're going to advance to the last page. And if we close the chest, it does. This is exactly the same as it is on other pages. We just copy and pasted, and we're going to stay on this page. So if we leave and come back, we'll return to this page. Page 6 is if they had taken the gold and the short sword and the potion was left. So it's almost identical to page 5. It's just that one of the switch conditions is different. And instead of being able to take the short sword, we're taking the potion. And so the beginning is the same. We're changing the text to say the potion is still in the chest. You only have two choices: take potion, close the chest. And then if it's take potion, it's very similar to a previous page, and we turn self switch A on because there's nothing left. And then when we close the chest, it's exactly the same as the previous times that we did that. And then if we close the chest, we stay on this page. And then page 7 is the last page. It's if we had skipped the gold and we had taken the potion and taken the short sword. And so now the only choice left to us, the beginning's the same. The now the text is going to be telling us that the gold is still in the chest, and then our only two choices are take the gold or close the chest. And then we have our take gold. Remember, we just give them whatever item is appropriate. That's really not a lot of changes here. And then we turn our self switch A on to advance to the last page, or we can close the chest. And then finally, the last page is when anytime we've finally taken everything, whether it be by take everything option or take them one at a time, we eventually turn on self switch A and we get to this last page where it says, hey, the chest is empty, and I'm going to leave the chest looking open so we can visually see on the map and in the game that the chest is open. Okay, so that is essentially a selectable treasure chest. And I built this just with three options because, I knew that I was going to be limited on the number of switches I could use to advance the pages. And, I will have to play around with this a little more because if there was a treasure chest where, maybe there's 6 items in there and I want to be able to let them pick from those. Maybe I want them to let them pick more than one at a time. Maybe eventually I want to do a storage chest. I did a storage item container, but I want to do a storage chest where you can put anything in there you want without doing a plugin. So there is some more things that I want to explore with this, but there are a lot of options for conditions here, especially variables. And you have your 4 self switches. So that's essentially how this works. It works perfectly fine. It's pretty cool. Maybe you would never want this in your game, but I kind of like games where you can do this, where you can, when you open something, if you don't want to carry it around, you can leave it there and it stays there. I've played lots of games where you can drop it on the floor and it stays there, and that's cool. You can make piles of stuff, but I kind of like it where you can also put them in containers. So, if this is helpful, I hope so. That's great. It's awesome. I had not found a tutorial on how to do this. I didn't I didn't find anything specifically how to do something like this, which is why I was interested in exploring it and researching it and making it myself. And so that's why I just wanted to share. If these help, please like, subscribe, get notifications, leave me a comment. Especially this one. If this helps you, leave a comment. Let me know if there's things that you think you could use this for and different ways that you might use this, or if this triggers thoughts and ideas of yours. Share them and let everybody think about it, and then that way everybody will benefit. So thank you very much, folks. I'm glad you found my channel. Please check out my previous videos, and like I said, I will be continuing to build and learn and explore. I'm starting to learn more about JavaScript with this JavaScript for Kids book, and if I as I see ways to improve on what I've done, eventually I'll take the time to redo things and then update tutorials and share what I've found. So thank you very much, folks. I hope you have a great day. Happy gaming and happy game developing, and I will see you all later. Thank you.